10 years ago, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. In order to avoid a mastectomy, I had my breast cancer frozen with a new technique called cryoablation. Cryoablation is a very non-morbid technique. That means it didn't hurt very much. I probably only needed Tylenol, if even that, to recover from the procedure itself. I left Detroit and I came back to Portland, where I live, and it was followed up with a standard treatment of radiation, just like if I'd had a lumpectomy. To get my cryoablation done, I was treated in Detroit, Michigan at the Karmanos Cancer Center. My doctor was Dr. Peter Littrup. He's one of the main innovators and inventors of using cryo to kill cancer. And this was the very first time he'd used it on breast cancer. I was his first breast cancer patient. Since that time, my husband Alex and I have written a book with Dr. Littrup, and it's called They're Mine and I'm Keeping Them. We also created a website so that people can find out about cryoablation. It's called They're Mine and I'm Keeping Them.com or keepingthem.com. Since that time, many women have found this website and they've contacted me, and I've given them support as they find their own way to Detroit and been treated successfully themselves. So if this treatment is so good, why haven't you heard about it? I wish I had an answer to that question, but it doesn't mean that it's not getting used elsewhere in the world. That flow has found its way from Detroit all the way to China. Cryoablation is being successfully used to treat breast cancer right now at a place in China, south of Beijing, called Fuda Hospital. They have a website, fudahospital.com. At Fuda Hospital, they've used cryoablation for all kinds of cancers, including breast cancer. To date, their website says that they've treated over 6,000 cases. That's great for the Chinese, but what about American women? Recently, the option to go to Karmanos to get cryoablation done by Dr. Littrup was no longer available. But women kept finding their way to my website and they wanted to get treated. I really checked it out, and it seems like Fuda Hospital is really their only option, at least right now. I wanted to recommend Fuda Hospital to women contacting me on my website. I really make a heart connection with these women, and it kills me to not be able to have a place to send them. But since China is such a long way to go, I didn't feel right about sending them there without first checking it out myself. That's when I was contacted by a woman from Canada. This woman has had a reoccurrence of her breast cancer, and she doesn't want to use conventional treatments again. She wants to use cryoablation. She contacted me because she wanted to know what I knew about it. When she told me she'd made the decision to go to Fuda, I told her I wish I could go with her. That's when she invited me to come. Apparently, Chinese hospitals ask you to bring along someone to help with the private nursing care, things like feeding and bathing. This brave woman really wants to spread the word about cryo, and she was very willing to give her story as it's happening in real time if I could find a way to get there and give her the support. That's what this ask is all about, allowing me to go to Fuda to get this woman, whose name is Faye, get her story. If I raise enough money, I'd love to have my son Louis come with me. Louis is really good with a camera, and he'd be able to capture her story on video, and then when we get back, post it up on YouTube as well as on our site. I think doing this would really get the full picture of what's going on at Fuda and how they successfully treat breast cancer. The timing for me to go right now and get this story is really fortuitous, because at the time we're going to be there and she's getting treated, they're going to have an international conference on cryoablation going on. My doctor, Dr. Peter Littrup, who shares the vice presidency of the international organization along with Fuda's Dr. Zhu, they will both be there. and I will be able to speak to them and find out what is the most current information. I know the Chinese add an immune stimulating therapy to this treatment, and it would be really good to find out what that's all about. When we get back, we'll put together all the information we've gathered and put it on our website, keepingthem.com, as well as on YouTube. This way, American women that are being welcomed to go to Fuda, if they can do it, they'll be able to make an informed decision if this is what they want to do. In the meanwhile, my husband and I are setting up a nonprofit so that we, the nonprofit organization, can assist women in doing their own fundraisers to help them go to China and get treated. I truly believe that going to China, getting Faye's story and presenting it on our website, in the long run is going to help spread the word about cryoablation and what a just fantastic treatment it is for breast cancer. I think it's going to finally, if this method gets out into the world, it's going to take the fear out of finding out you have a diagnosis of breast cancer. And I think that it will empower women everywhere who hear about it to try to demand it closer to home, wherever that might be. I'm really trying to just spread information right now about a really, really great technique that should be available to all women everywhere. This has got to be a bit of a quick fundraiser because, as you know, cancer doesn't quit growing while people raise funds to treat it. We're hoping to be able to go really soon, like probably in a couple of weeks. Your donation, even a small one, will be incredibly helpful, especially if you send this ask along to other people you think might be interested. Again, our goal is to get this story and spread the word about cryoablation for a really successful technique that can treat breast cancer. Check out the websites for yourself. Ours will give you a lot of information about the technique. Fuda Hospitals will give you a lot of information of why we want to go there. Again, the goal is to spread the word about breast cancer and hopefully empower women to demand it closer to home. I really would love to see American women have this in their own hospital systems eventually, hopefully very soon, so that it can come back to the country where it was first used and invented. Because I'm here to tell you, it's just a great way to go.